Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to the show. Welcome to It's Still Real to Me. I'm your host, John Kuchar, aka Johnny Fashion. Got a fun episode tonight. A great interview. Uh, been really excited about this interview because I'm such a fan of this product. I have, via Google Hangouts, residing in sunny Florida, I do believe, Michael Gray from That Wrestling Crate. What's going on, Michael? How are you?
Hey man, how's it going? I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How you doing?
I am doing fantastic. Uh, I'm up here in Maine, so not so sunny Florida, but we have a sunny array up here as well. So it's not all snow, if you can believe it or not. So the summers are very nice up here. So
I've
yeah,
never
man.
been, but I want to visit. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
it's fantastic. So, first and foremost, man, thank you for coming on the show and giving us some time tonight. I am, like I said in the intro, I'm such a fan of That Wrestling Crate. The first crate was launched, it was shipped, delivered, blew my mind, blew probably everybody's mind. And it was amazing. So, for that, I thank you. And I also congratulate you in starting That Wrestling Crate. Um, First of all, let's get into this. Why did you start That Wrestling Crate? The crate game is a little bit saturated right now. You got a bunch of other crates out there that shall remain nameless. But what got you into this? What got you into the wrestling crate game?
Well, you know what? You're absolutely right. There is a few other crate services out there, and we are not definitely not the first one. And kind of, well, you know what got me started with this was, there's a crate for everything these days. You know, your dogs, stuff for the house, food. I mean, it's not just wrestling. And I actually did a search one day to see if there was a wrestling crate out there, and that's when I came across the other wrestling crates that we have now. And I noticed that they had some unboxings on YouTube, and actually kind of binge watch some unboxings for a few days. And you know, I watched it. I thought it was a great idea. I thought maybe I shouldn't do it because obviously there is other crates out there, and I don't want to seem like a copycat. But I figured the first wrestling crate came from another crate idea, so it's kind of a bit of a domino effect. So I watched these videos, and one thing I kind of noticed was that a lot of crates I would not purchase myself, and I'm not trying to knock them because I know that obviously certain crates, other wrestling crates out there, have a lot of fans that follow them and they like their product, and I'm not trying to knock the product, but I just saw things in there that maybe I personally wouldn't necessarily want. So that was kind of the motivation for me, was I'm going to start a new one. I don't know how it's going to go, but I'm going to put things in the crates that I personally would want. And that's kind of our game plan moving forward. Is we're going to try to be a little different than everybody else. Each crate kind of has its own little thing going, and we're just trying to throw our hat into the ring and see. Over time, we're obviously going to gain our own fans and have our own followers. But yeah, that's kind of what started. It was just a Google search that I did one day just to see what was out there, and after binge watching, came across the fact that I didn't see any crate that I personally would purchase, and I wanted to put something together and just try to put something new out there.
Yeah, right on, man. Yeah, the unboxing vids are like a beast within itself, man. Like those are always a trip. I know a guy who does unboxing videos. He's very fashionable.
Yeah.
If you know, yeah. um, so so going into like your first one, because you're like I said, your first one launched. It came out and it was pretty awesome. I mean, we can say some of the things in there. The Hogan autograph was unbelievable. What was like your goal going into the first one? Did you want to kind of blow the lid off the roof here and kind of go in with a bang, or did you want to I mean, the Hogan thing is kind of a big bang, but did you want it to be a little bit more subtle, or did you want to really catch some people's eyes right out of the gate?
Well, You know, like kind of going back on what we were saying before, there is multiple crates out there. And, if we were the first crate service out there, I probably wouldn't need to make that much of an impact. But we're coming into the game a little later than everybody else. And there's already, you know, fans out there that are committed to certain crates. And, it's totally fine. But yeah, we needed to, I felt, start with a bang. We need to go to the top. We need to show everybody, we mean business. We're new, but we're serious, and this is going to be a good product, and we're going to be here for a while. So, I think it was one of those kind of laying in bed, going to sleep moments, and you just kind of, wake up and it's, you have your moment where it just clicks in your head. I need to get, if I'm going to be serious about this, I need to start at the top. And who's at the top? The Mount Rushmore of wrestling, Hulk Hogan's face is right there. So that's kind of my motivation. I need to come in with a bang. I need to do something big. And it was just, just came to me one night, boom, and I need to make it happen. And we did. So we're very proud of that. And we're very proud of our first crate. It was a huge success. And it wasn't just the Hogan autograph. I mean, obviously that was a big deal for everybody, but we got a lot of feedback on the shirt. We got a lot of feedback on the barbecue sauce, which, that's something that's never been in a crate before.
I loved it.
Yeah, so that was a little different, and, it was good. So I think the first crate is definitely, it's going to be very hard for us to top that. And honestly, I don't think we'll ever be able to top it, only because there is only one Hulk Hogan out there. And, whether you like the guy or not, you got to give him his credit. So, I'm a fan of Hogan myself. And, yeah, I was very proud of what we did with the first crate. So
Fantastic. Yeah, yeah, you're right. It wasn't just the Hogan autograph. When I saw the JR's barbecue sauce in there, I was like, that's genius. Like, that's great. Like I'd never had it before. It's always been around. You can buy it on WWE Shop. But it's like, it's one of those things that you never really think to buy because it's food, it's barbecue
right.
sauce. So it's kind of funny. When I saw that, I was like, that's great. Oh, fantastic. I was really excited about that.
Well, that came from the, I've never had JR's barbecue sauce. I've always wanted to try it and kind of, would I buy JR's barbecue sauce? Absolutely. So you know what? I'm going to put it in the first crate, and that's where that came from.
Yeah. So do you plan on going more that route of like, because I think it's hard when there's kind of such a, like we said, there's so many crates out there now, but they seem to eventually all kind of become a little monotonous with what they have in there. You get a shirt, usually a figure, an autograph, and like those are like your three staples from a lot of crates. Do you feel like you're gonna kind of go that route, or are you gonna go a little bit more like maybe some months there's not going to be an autograph, but there's going to be something else that's just really different and really cool? Or do you think that you're going to stick with, shirt, figure, autograph as kind of the staple of the crate?
It's kind of hard to say. We're still, we're trying to find our way and trying to find our formula and what's going to work best for us. So I'm sure that some months we'll have a figure and a T-shirt and a DVD or whatever. But then there are going to be months where it's completely different and it is something fresh and new. The challenging part is finding that tough, that fresh and new. The barbecue sauce was easy. It was an easy thing, but what are we going to do in the next crate? What else can we find out there that's fresh and new? And unfortunately, there's just not a whole lot of options outside of your standard figurine, DVD, T-shirt combo pack. So, I can't really give you a definite answer on that just yet because, like I said, we're trying to find out what works best for us. But we are, constantly scouring the internet. We're looking at, wrestling websites, find out what kind of items they have that we can include. We're reaching out to artists, for original content. We're reaching out to, different vendors and different people out there that are trying to make it just like we are. We're new. Maybe we could partner up with some of these people that have an idea that, needs to get their name out there. This is the perfect way to do it because when you've got a shipment of boxes going out to people like that don't know what they're getting, you're putting your product in front of their face. So we're always looking for the next thing. But I'm sure there's going to be the crates that have the standard DVD action figure T-shirt type deal.
Yeah, right on. And I do like the like at first when I got the first crate and like I saw the DVD, like I've never been a fan of DVDs, but what I like that you did is that you got a DVD in there that wasn't on the network. At the time when I opened it, I didn't know that, so I was kind of like, oh, that's all right because I got the network. But then I found out later that it was not on the network, in fact, and so I thought that was really cool, like that you're kind of going that extra step because I've gotten boxes before where like they've had DVDs of like a random pay-per-view and I'm like, oh well, okay, I pay $9.99 to watch that on the network if I wanted to. I don't really need a hard copy of this to that's just more work for me putting it into a DVD player and taking out my kids Paw Patrol DVD or something.
Right.
So it's just like that was not that was good, man. Like there were some little things in your first crate that I noticed, and it might just be me being a seasoned vet now of crates and unboxing things, but that was one of them that I was like, the DVD is not on the network, so that's a plus. The autograph was face down, which I thought was nice.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't spoil the surprise. So right off the bat, man, I think your first crate, it's very clear that you did your research and kind of saw what was like little things that might bother people you tried to avoid. So I thought that was great.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, when we're looking at items, we're doing our research. We're not just grabbing what's available to us. It is a little challenging because we are so new and a lot of people haven't heard about us yet. Trying to get certain items and things like that. But obviously, as time goes on and we grow, more and more people are going to want to work with us. So we'll be able to bring good products. But absolutely, we're looking at what's going in the crate. Why are we putting it in there? It's not just kind of a grab and go. And we do a lot of research. We've emailed and messaged lots of fans. Asked their opinion. After the first crate, we got a lot of feedback from people, mostly positive, obviously, but a couple of creative critiquing, criticism. So we're always happy to take some feedback and if it's positive feedback on how we can do better and ideas of what we can do in the next crate, we're happy to hear it. So we're definitely listening to the fans, and we're about the fans, and that's why I'm doing this. I'm a fan. I want to deliver a good product, and we're definitely listening to people, and we're reaching out, and we're doing our research. So yeah, things that go in the crate don't just go in for just because.
Yeah.
We do a little research on each item before it goes in there.
Right on. So you just mentioned some challenging things. What's been like the most challenging part of the crate so far? I'm just putting this thing together. Is it like acquiring things? Is it trying to be creative with all this? What do you think is the most challenging part?
Man, it sounds like it's easy, right? And if you receive a crate, regardless of who sends it to you and what's in it, when you receive a crate, you open it up, and it takes you 5 minutes to go through it and look at all your items, and you're done with it, right? But there is a lot. Let me tell you, a lot of work that goes into these crates. It is not easy to come up with 5 individual items that you want to. You got such a broad base of people, and everybody's looking for something different, right? Like people are looking for a certain figurine, and then some people want a nice shirt, and then some people want a really cool DVD, and then some people want trading cards for the kids, and it's very hard to, first of all, please everybody. That's never going to happen. Obviously, we do our absolute best to do a really good job, but that's probably the hardest part, is going to be to please everybody. Finding the items, some items are easier than others. You know, some are very challenging. Working with talent for autographs can be a little challenging as well. So there's no real part that's easy, and nothing's really harder than the other part. It's very difficult to put this together, but like I said, it's a lot of fun. And to be honest with you, the hardest parts and the challenging parts are the parts I like the best, because they are what motivates me if this was easy, it would get boring, right? So the challenging parts are the parts that keep it interesting for me. And like I said, it's very difficult, but it's a good thing.
Nice. That's right, man. If it was easy, everybody would do it.
That's right.
It's a, that's a Tom Hanks quote from League of Their Own. God, I haven't seen that movie since I was a kid. Uh, so let's get into, so why wrestling, man? I mean, you obviously are a fan of wrestling. I can't imagine you just doing this and not being a fan. That would be insane. So when did you get into wrestling? Like it as a kid, or?
You know what? I can tell you the very first match I ever saw. It was on Monday Night Raw, 1999, and it was Triple H versus The Rock in a casket match. No, it was not. It was Triple H. Sorry, I got
It's all right.
confused for a second. It was The Undertaker versus The Rock in a casket match. And Triple H came out to the ring and beat the hell out of the casket with The Rock in it. And Triple H had a sledgehammer and he beat the hell out of that casket. That was the very first wrestling match I remember watching as a kid. And for weeks before that, I was going over to my buddy's house and he was watching wrestling and he was trying to get me to watch it. I'm like, I'm not watching that garbage. It's stupid. I'm not watching that. And one night I was at his house and it was on, and that was the match that was on. And he had called me in to watch it. And I'm like, all right, I'll come in and take a look. And boom, it was like that. I was hooked. I couldn't get enough of it. And I was
Nice.
watching it every Monday night. Didn't miss an episode. I just remember that match being, I don't know, it wasn't the greatest match ever, but just the impact that moment had on me, it glued me to it. And I've missed very little wrestling over the years, so I've always been a huge fan. After that match, I've obviously gone back and watched all the WrestleManias, all the classics, but you know, just the whole vibe of wrestling. If you're a real wrestling fan, it's kind of hard to put your finger on exactly what it is that draws you to it. But that bug, that itch is got me, and I've always been a fan since I was a kid, and I just I love it. And when you're putting something together like this, you got to know what you're doing. You got to know the product. You got to know what fans are looking for, and a wrestling fan or somebody that's not a wrestling fan couldn't do a wrestling crate, obviously. And so if you ask, if a stranger asks me about myself, I'm going to tell them I'm a wrestling fan. Probably one of the first things I would tell them. So it just made sense for me to put this together, knowing that I'm such a big fan of wrestling.
Nice. Yeah, I struggled with it for a long time. Like I was always been a wrestling fan since I was like God, like I don't know, like 5 or whatever. And it was just anytime anybody asked me, I'd say it, in a weird like, yeah, I watch wrestling. It's like, I'm kind of a wrestling nerd. But now I'm just like, I don't even care. I wear a wrestling shirt every day and I'm like, yeah, I'm really into it. What's up? What do you need to know about it? So I'm very proud of my wrestling nerddom now. I've learned to deal with it. So
Yeah,
I definitely see where you're coming from.
absolutely. And you know what kind of did it for me recently was uh, this Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
I know, no, don't get me wrong. I know there's a lot of wrestling fans out there that like the Pokemon Go. There's not a problem with that at all. But when there's, 40, 50, 60-year-old, well, 60 might be a little too high, but 40, 50-year-olds out there playing Pokemon Go, I have absolutely no problem telling people I'm a wrestling fan. So that
Yeah.
kind of secured it for me right there. I don't no shame in this at all. So if you're gonna go out and play your Pokemon Go, if you're gonna go hunt Pokemon down the street, I'm a wrestling fan.
Yeah.
Deal with it. So
Nice. So so your first match you saw was during the Attitude Era. You went back, you saw the classics, all the WrestleManias, all like I like to say kind of my heyday, like the 90s, the Hogans, the Warriors, Mr. Perfects, Bret Harts, all that stuff. And obviously you're current now. What stuff do you like now? You're obviously into WWE. Who are some of your guys now that you're into?
the regulars. Totally not a fan of Cena. I know a lot of people are, and that's cool. I'm fine with that. Um, my guys are Dean Ambrose. Finn Balor. Finn Balor is probably one of my favorites. You know, he's up and coming, and I'm really happy he's on Raw now. I just hope that we don't see a trend. You know, a couple of the other NXT stars have come up, and then they've really kind of they haven't gone very far. You know,
Right.
and they seem to do better in NXT. So I hope that he becomes one of the big guys on Raw. I hope he's in the main event. Um, so yeah, he's definitely one of them. Big fan of Seth Rollins. Obviously, I think he's phenomenal in the ring, on the microphone. He's the total package. So those are a couple of my favorite guys. I'm happy that Mick Foley's back. I feel like it kind of ties in, even though he's not wrestling. I feel like it kind of ties in the kind of the older fans to the newer fans a little bit. You know, having Mick Foley on Raw and then Daniel Bryan on SmackDown. So I think that's a good mix, and you know, I'm hoping that the WWE loosens their grip on him a little bit, and we see a little bit of Mick Foley when he was the commissioner. I think that was probably one of the best, authoritative figures that we've seen in wrestling was when Mick Foley was the commissioner, and you know, he's driving around on his, you know, his office was in a different location every time he showed up, and
Yeah.
his shirt with the commissioner and the Ishner was down the side, and you know, I think Mick Foley's an awesome talent, and I've been a little disappointed actually since he's been on Raw because I feel like they're not letting him really truly shine. So hopefully that changes. But yeah, that's probably the good points of today's product I'm looking at, and then of course, NXT and things like that are awesome as well. So yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of good stuff going on.
Yeah, and I mean, and you being based like right out of Florida too, like it's kind of like a wrestling hub down there too. I mean, NXT is right there. I mean, it must be wild because you're not very far from Full Sail, right? Like a couple hours maybe. I'm assuming, or
Oh,
I.
I'm based in the heart of Orlando, Florida, so
Oh,
Full Sail is right down the street from us.
oh shoot! Look at you,
Yeah, we got the
lucky guy.
performance center here. There's been rumors now for a while that we're getting a Hall of Fame. It still hasn't been officially announced yet.
Right.
And then of course we have WrestleMania coming here next year, so it's a very exciting year to be a wrestling fan in Orlando. So
Yeah. Nice. So you obviously got like the WWE like right down the street or NXT. Um, are there any other like kind of indie stuff around there that you know of? I mean, are you gonna try and venture into that? Maybe get some of that stuff in the crate, or you mainly focused more on kind of mainstream stuff at the moment?
you know, I definitely want to do a big mix. The WWE has signed a deal with Loot Crate, so we're waiting to see how that's going to go. But I think it's going to be a little harder to get my hands on certain WWE merchandise. Obviously, I'll still have access to some of it. Um, Indies, I'm a huge Indies fan. I think the indie scene is very important to wrestling as a whole. And if you take WWE out of the equation, you just look at pro wrestling in general. Indies are extremely important, and I definitely want to incorporate indie stuff to the fans because I think this is a great platform to introduce them to some new products and new wrestlers. The only thing I'm a little bit weary of is some subscribers, may look at an indie DVD and maybe not want to watch it because they don't know the people on it, and it's not John Cena or it's not Seth Rollins, so they don't want to watch it. And then I'm going to get some subscribers that are going to absolutely love a new DVD that they've never heard of and wrestlers they've never heard of, and actually sitting down and watching a show that they've never seen before. So that it's I want to try it out in a few crates to see how it's perceived. But yeah, I'm definitely open to trying to incorporate some indie stuff. I think it's really important, especially for the business. It can't all be WWE. We're definitely looking at other promotions as well, like TNA and Ring of Honor and that as well. So the whole goal is it's a wrestling crate. It's not a WWE crate. So there will be WWE items from time to time, but we're trying to focus on this as a whole is wrestling. So that's very important.
Yeah, great answer, man. Yeah, it's such a really great platform to like just learn about wrestling. If you're, I mean, even myself, I've been a wrestling fan, like I said, since I was like 5, and it's, I'm still learning stuff every day. And sometimes the crates that I get, there's some stuff in there that I'm like, oh, what is this all about? Like I remember learning about like was it old time wrestling or it's like it's just like it looks like it's kind of based like like in the 20s or something. It's very cool. And I learned, it's very like vaudevillainish,
Yeah,
Um,
I know which one you're talking about.
yeah. And, I learned about that through a wrestling crate. And, I learned who like Matt Cross was because he was like their big guy in there. And then it's like, oh, he's also in Lucha Underground. Oh, cool. And then you get like this whole mix. So it's great. It's a great like platform to just learn things, and I find that super interesting. So I love it when crates like throw in like just really random like indie stuff. But I see what you're saying though too, like where it might not hit on everybody because some people just want the WWE stuff, and some people they just want what they know, and they don't want to branch out, and that's fine too. But it goes back to your thing where you can't please everybody. So I definitely feel you there. I asked earlier what was the hardest part. What is the easiest part or like the most enjoyable part? Like, what do you love about doing this? I know you've only been at it, for this first crate, and you've been at it for a while, building this first one. But like, what's your favorite part so far?
Well, my favorite part about the first crate, and it's only the first one, so I don't have much to talk about. But my first crate, the best part for me, in all God's honesty, was watching the unboxing videos.
Yeah,
The people in those videos, I don't know them. I've never met them before, and just watching them unbox this box, and they're recording it, and I'm seeing their facial expressions and their reactions to what's inside. That was awesome. We had to work very hard, as I'm sure you can imagine, to get Hulk Hogan autograph. Not only was it just a Hulk Hogan autograph, but it was personalized. I mean, that was a challenge in itself, and we made it happen. And so to sit there and actually watch these people unbox the videos and see their expressions and how excited they were about it, that was awesome for me. I mean, I'm kind of one of those people that I don't really like to receive. I like to give. I usually give the most gifts at Christmas and things like that. And I do it just because I love to see people happy and their reaction and get, see them excited. And I mean, there was a few unboxings that I watched where once that autograph came out, people were speechless, and they're filming this. It's a live reaction, and I loved it. I'm like, I don't know who this person is, and I don't know where they're at, but I just made their day. So that's kind of what I get out of it is seeing people have a good positive reaction and actually enjoy the product that we're delivering. So, it was very hard to put it together. It was hard to, it's the first one. We're trying to figure out the process. What's the best way to do this? How should we do this? What can we do better next time? But seeing the final product being delivered and opened is what made it all worthwhile for me.
that's awesome, man. Yeah, I was not speechless, but I was saying like I was
I
just
think you cursed a
swearing.
few times, right?
I did curse a few times, like, which I mean, I do in real life, but I try to like refrain from from doing it too often,
Right
like
on.
on
Yeah.
the podcast or on unboxing videos. But yeah, it was just amazing. Me and Hulk Hogan. I mean, it would have been one thing if it was just like the Hulk Hogan autograph, but then like the 1-2 punch was like that it was personalized, and I was like, oh my god, this is nuts. So moving forward with like autographs and stuff, I mean, was that just for the first one, the personalization, or is that something that you might incorporate moving forward with other autographs, or is it kind of just up in the air right now?
It's probably a one-time deal. We wanted to include something as a special thank you to people that kind of took a risk with us. Again, there is other crates out there, and they have their supporters and their fans. So for a group of people to sign up to our product, they've never heard of us before. We're brand new. They have absolutely no idea what's going to be in our crate, but they're spending their hard-earned money on our product, and don't really know what they're getting. I wanted to deliver something to them that made made them feel good about subscribing to our service. So um, I think the personalization was one of those moments, again, just like the Hulk Hogan autograph itself. It wasn't immediately I thought about getting it personalized. It was a few days later. I was like, you know what? I'm going to see if I can get these bad boys personalized as a special thank you. So those are probably a once in a lifetime for our box at least, because obviously once we're growing, after the first box we had a huge spike in subscriptions, which is great. So to go to a talent with literally hundreds of names and say, look, I need you to personalize all of these, it's probably just going to be a little too much for them to do all that for us. So yeah, unfortunately, I think that was probably just the first crate, and it was more of a thank you to the people that kind of took a chance on us. But obviously, if we can come up with other ways to thank our subscribers in future boxes, we're definitely going to look into it, because we're very thankful for every subscription we get. And so anything we can do to say thanks. I was even thinking about this was just in the last few days, I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but depending on how well this thing goes, maybe hosting a night here in Orlando around WrestleMania time, when some people are in town for the show, maybe buying everybody around a beer or something like that, obviously depending on how many people actually want to show up. So
Right.
obviously that hasn't been planned out or anything like that. We're still way too early to think about that. But as a time things are going really well for us and we're doing really good, maybe hosting at a bar or something like that, just buy everybody a beer and thank them for their work. So I figured a few of our fans or the subscribers are going to be here for WrestleMania. So just little things like that, if we can do it, we're definitely going to do it. We're, like I said, we're not really in it for the money. Obviously, if you're not in business to make money, you're not in business. But definitely thankful for the fans. So yeah, if it's a personalized autograph, it's a special moment, a special item, or a beer, for WrestleMania, we're definitely open to it, and trying to think of ways to thank the fans and the subscribers for subscribing to our service. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, that's great, man. We appreciate it as well. And you keep saying we or our. Like, is there anybody else behind the scenes that you want to give a shout out to that works with you, that helps you do this at all, or anybody else that's a part of this?
It started off as just me. I kind of had this crazy idea to grab the ball and run with it, and it's been going really well. My biggest supporter has been my wife, and she
They
is,
always are, right?
yes, uh, she is not by any means a wrestling fan at all. She doesn't really get it. She knows some of their names. She thinks Randy Orton's very hot, and she calls him sexy legs. So
Yeah. Who
um,
doesn't? Yeah.
yeah. So when he's on TV, that's sexy legs, right? So she's not really been a fan. She didn't even know about wrestling until she met me, and it started off with this idea, and she kind of gave me this crazy look, like, okay, if that's what you want to do, go for it. And it started off with her saying, how many subscriptions you got today, and then now it's, how many subscriptions do we have, and she's kind of taking ownership of it as well. And she's going to help me box the boxes up, and I got some friends coming over that are going to help me out. And it really is a bit of a challenge and a bit of a task. But my friends and family, even though they're not wrestling fans like I am, they've been very supportive, and they're asking how things are going, how can we help, what can we do, and it's been really great. So definitely, my wife has been my best support system. And even though she's not a wrestling fan herself, she is backing me 110%, and she's jumping in and helping out wherever she can. So yeah, it's not an easy thing to box up hundreds of boxes and send them out, but we're doing it. So
Yeah. So you mentioned that that she's asking about like subscribers and stuff, and I won't ask how many subscribers that you have, but I know that you guys were kind of capped for the first month. Is that something that you're going to do moving forward? Because I know that there was like limited quantities. Has that jumped up at all since launching this first one, and some like unboxing videos have come out, and people are interested, and they're not really like taking that flyer anymore. They actually see that there's proof in the pudding, and so your fans are kind of building up. Are you upping that cap that may have been on the first month?
well, the first month was capped mainly because of the Hogan autographs.
Yeah.
We're kind of limited on how many we could get, and we wanted to make sure everybody got one. And of course, we're getting them personalized, and we didn't want to give Hogan this huge list of names. So we did kind of cap it there for that one. This one, there's not really a cap on it. We did purchase the items for inside the crate in advance, but I'm beginning to think that we did not purchase enough. So I went out and kind of expanded it a little bit and got more items so we could expand. Um, I have been toying around with the idea of making this a limited quantity box per month, just because I don't want the quality of the product to suffer.
Right.
If I go out there and I find a hard to find item, which we're actually going to have in our next crate for August, it's a small item, but I can tell you it's a WWF item. It's not WWE. It does have the WWF logo on it. But when you find items like that, they're very hard to come across. They're just not hanging around. You really got to do your research and find them, and then you got to hope that they have enough for all your crates. So I have been toying around with the idea of maybe capping it at a certain amount, just so that we can continue to offer good products in the crates. I haven't fully decided on if we're going to do that yet or not. We're kind of looking to see how things are going, but yeah, the first month was definitely capped, mainly because of the Hogan thing. And then the second one, I did purchase the items in advance, but I went ahead and we got some more. So we have opened it up a little bit more for August, and then we'll see how September goes.
Nice. Are you gonna do any, like, I know some crates do like themed boxes. Are you gonna try and venture into that route, or just is it gonna be kind of just a mix of stuff?
Um, Another thing I thought about, if we do a themed box, it probably won't be every month.
Yeah.
Every month will be basically a mixture of anything and everything, including barbecue sauce, in the box. So,
Yeah.
there might be the odd month that we decide maybe to do like an extreme theme, and everything in the box will be related to extreme wrestling one way or the other. Or, as WrestleMania gets closer, maybe we'll do a WrestleMania theme or an Attitude Era or something like that. Maybe a TNA theme box. But they're not going to be every month. They'll be occasionally. We might do something like that, and it all depend on the talent that's working with us that month, and the products that are available to us. But yeah, if we can do a couple themes here and there, we're definitely looking into that. But you know, for the most part, there probably won't be any themes. I'm kind of, I've seen some of the themes out there, and some of them are really cool and creative, and then some of them are a little cheesy. I don't want to be that crate. So
Yeah.
if we
Right.
can come up with a badass theme and put some really cool stuff in there, we're gonna do it.
Nice. Cool, man. Well, I love what you're doing. Anything, we'll wrap up here shortly, but anything you kind of want, the fans out there to know, or anything that, maybe I haven't asked that you kind of want to get out there about that wrestling crate?
Yes, absolutely. I just want to anybody that's listening to this that has subscribed or is subscribed to our service. I just want to say thank you very much. We truly appreciate your support. We hope that you like our product. Anybody out there that has an idea for a crate, anybody has an idea for an item, if you are starting your own, item or business, or if you're doing a comic book or you're a good artist, reach out to us. We're open to suggestions and ideas. We would love to include, stuff in our crates. We do have an online store for any leftover items. So if you want an Undertaker Funko Pop, or if you want the Beard Guide to Wrestling shirt, we do have some of those available on the store. We have actually one crate left. It's the last one with the Hulk Hogan autograph. Obviously, the autograph is not personalized, but if you want to pick up our debut crate, we do have one left. So yeah, just thank you to everybody. We're open to suggestions. Thank you for your subscriptions. And if there's an item that you missed and you'd like to try to pick it up, take a look at our store, and we're happy to hear any feedback you got for us. And if you're thinking about subscribing to us, please give us a shot. We'd love to try to win you over.
Awesome, man. Where are you guys on social media? You guys on Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff?
We are on Twitter at wrestling _crates or crate. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/thatwrestlingcrate. And of course, our website is thatwrestlingcrate.com. If you go there, you can find out about our service. All the pricing and the services are there. And then you can find the store there as well at thatwrestlingcrate.com.
Awesome. Good stuff, Michael. Thank you so much, man, for coming
Absolutely.
on. It was a fun conversation. It was awesome. I'm looking really forward to next month's crate. The WWF item has me intrigued a little bit. Like I said, I'm old school, man. So WWF days, that was kind of my bread and butter. So I'm excited about that already. So I'm looking forward to it. Again, man, thanks a lot for coming on. Appreciate it. And yeah, anything else you want to get off your chest out there?
No, thank you. Thanks for having me. I appreciate the time. It was awesome. Thanks.
Awesome, brother. Cool. Thanks a lot. Everybody out there, you guys can check us out on Twitter at ISR2M podcast. Check me out at Jonny Fashion. Check out my co-host Harmon at Harmon316. And go to smarkandmark.com. Check us out there. That's the easiest way to get us. But if you want to go through iTunes, we're there. If you want to go through Podbean, we're there. If you guys want to go through Stitcher, we're there. TuneIn Radio, we're also there. So wherever you get your podcast from, just type in ISR2M and you're going to get us and you're going to listen and it's going to be great. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Have a great night. Peace out, y'all.